How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about SNDL Sundial growers. I've been getting the messages, Dre, have you seen the recent pop inside of the stock? And I'm like, most definitely. Like I was saying in my previous SNDL videos, if you wanted to add on that dip when it was trading in that 50-cent range, if you wanted to add even in the 40-cent level and you had high conviction, there's a good amount of upside. And look, here we are with the stock moving very well. And now I'm going to give you guys what you want to look forward to for this coming week. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to take a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll go into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for SNDL Sundial growers. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at 66 cents, being up 18.54%. On the low, it tested 55 cents, and then on the high, testing 66 cents. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 246.996 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 100.349 million shares. So we more than doubled that average volume, and it's part of the reasons why we saw some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 67.68. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, but we are above the 21-day EMA, the 50-day, and as well as the 100-day. So if you guys remember, like I've been talking about in my previous SNDL videos, if you believe in the long-term prospects, you would be buying the dip. And I was saying this when it was trading around 50 cents. It ended up getting to as low right here around 40 cents. So congratulations to those that were able to actually add. Now, as far as where we ended up seeing the high on the day being at 66 cents going into Monday, if we see more momentum and there's more buying pressure, I would love to see if we can get here to the 200-day right here around 73 cents. Because it'd be very interesting. There would be a good amount of profit taking and so forth. So that is one thing you're going to want to keep in mind. But you'd be very curious to see if it could actually continue. But if it does not continue and we end up getting a rejection, of course you'd want to see potentially if SNDL would hold up 70. Again, this is in the best case scenario here. So if we go into next week and we end up having a pullback, I know some of you might have that question, then it would be great to see if we could hold up at least 60 cents. I think that would be very achievable for SNDL, especially with the recent news that came out and so forth. So 60 cents being an area of support, I want to see SNDL establish this for the coming week because it could still get us ready as we consolidate and we can make that next move instead of just going all the way straight up and then selling off big time. And we've seen this happen many times in the past as well. So let's see how it performs for the coming week, and let's go over the short interest information. We're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for SNDL. So green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings, we have Caption Management LLC with calls and coming with a value of shares of 297,500. And we also have SJS Investment Consulting Inc. with 10,000. And then when we take a look at Firestone, that was a closed position, Coldstream being a closed position, PNC being a closed position as well. When we see some new positions, we have Integrity Capital Management with 73,900 shares. And we also have Henriksen Nada Wealth Advisors Inc., which only 55 shares. And then when we see Corset Asset Management LLC, which was on February the 10th, loading up at 27,463 shares. We also have Kellett Schaffner Wealth Advisors LLC purchased 11,000 shares and so forth. And we can see more institutions have been loading up as well. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 40.15%, and then for the dark pool short volume, it is just over 52.39 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 30,000, updated an hour ago, and then for the short ball fee rate, it is at 14.11%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of the 10th, it was at 34.24, and then for the close of the 11th being at 40.15. So what this tells us, yes, SNDL does continue to have short squeeze potential, and it's part of the reasons why you see a lot of volatility in the stock. So now let's go into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for SNDL. So for the inflow, it's at 32.39, and then on the outflow, it's at 34.91. And then when we take a look at the breakdown on the large, it was 4.63. On the medium, it was 18.77, and then on the small, it was 8.99. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 0. On the medium, it was 22.77, and then on the small, it was 12.14. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for February 11th, so the Friday that just passed, it was at 4.63 million, and then for the 10th, it was at 0.36 million. So what we see on that Friday, institutions whales loading up on shares. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more buying than we had selling with 4.63 million versus 0. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 12.01%. Again, it's not surprising. We know Sundial is a very volatile stock. It is liquid. There's a lot of traders that are going in and out of this play. And let's be honest here, we had a lot of volatility on the Friday, and there are a lot of people who are down in SNDL, and when they see it moving up, they're going to be selling. So this would be something to keep an eye on if you're going to be trading it. So now let's go into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for SNDL Sundial growers in regards to the price action, you guys know what I'm about to say. We're going to have some strong resistance if it can reach 70 cents. But if you can get above 70 cents, that's where things get interesting. As far as for the 200-day moving average, it is around 73 cents. So even more buyers will step in if we get that move. So that's one thing you want to keep your eye on for this coming week. If we end up seeing weakness or we have a pullback, most preferably, it would be great if we could hold up 60 cents and then just consolidate in that area to get us ready for that next move up. I think if there's more buying pressure coming into the stock, SNDL should do fairly well. And another point I want to bring up, they were recently given a 180-day extension to be on the NASDAQ. A lot of people were fearing, what if they get delisted and so forth? So now that those fears are out of the way, many people are saying, hey, I'm going to start buying up this stock. But I want to make sure that you have a game plan. If you are going to be going in, this stock has ran up quite a bit, so you want to make sure you're using the right risk management. But if you're an investor and you believe in the long-term prospects, of course you're going to continue to ride this thing out. And like I was saying before in my previous videos, while the stock was dipping and pulling back, you had those opportunities to buy it in the 40-cent range and as well as in the 50-cent range. So if it pulled back to those areas and now you're saying, well, you know what, I'm going to buy it now since it's trading close to 66, or you want to buy it around 70 cents, again, that is up to you. But at the same time, don't make that mistake again, because you can be green right now if you took advantage of the dip buy. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential, and we do see institutions have been loading up on shares. So this is why I say the buying pressure continues, and of course we have to look out for what's going on in the legal landscape. And once we see cannabis being legalized on the federal level in the United States, this stock will take off. So it's up to you for you to do your homework, do your due diligence, and find the plays that you want to be in when the market starts taking off in this particular sector. But do know there's a lot of volatility and there's no reason to FOMO at this particular moment in time, but I would keep a close eye on it if
if you are interested. And let's not forget, on the operational side and on the growth side, SNDL is doing everything that they need to do. We knew they had a strong cash position. They've been putting it to work as far as that acquisition of Alcana, and that does build out their presence overall in Canada. So they will be able to benefit from this, and I feel this can deliver a lot of value to shareholders, and I want to see SNDL get to that $1 mark just as much as you guys do who watch my video. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll be talking to you guys real soon.